Welcome back everyone to the opening day of the DreamHack Warcraft 3 Championship, where we are getting ready to hop into the lower bracket match of Group A. It's going to be an Undead versus ORC, KraV versus FoCuS, and I am joined by the one and only Remo and Carson. Both of you guys have 17 million papers of notes prepared, so Remo, why don't you kick things off? What do you got for me, mate?
Yeah, looking forward to this game. KraV, of course, you know, he's coming into this as one of the underdogs, rather. He didn't quite make the EPT cutoff that was set up for the European region. He was below 5th position, but because 2 players couldn't make it, we have him here. He has many fans out there, and many of those are going to be glad to be seeing him here, but he's definitely going into this as the underdog. Lost 0-2 earlier to Foggy, but now it's going to have another chance.
I'll come to you soon, Carson, as obviously you guys at home can let us know once more who do you think is going to win. Go ahead and place those predictions in the chat. Make sure to behave in chat as well, guys. I don't want to see double messages. Avoid embarrassing incidents, okay? But yeah, hashtag, what is it, KRA and hashtag FOC for your player. And we'll check in with you guys later to see what you guys decided upon. We're going to take a look at the head-to-head, as those graphics are already prepared as well. And Carson, why don't you talk to me? What do you expect for this lower bracket match between this Frenchman and Korean?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for KraV. I will not lie here. It's going to be difficult, especially the Undead against Orc matchup is a tricky one. And FoCuS, one of the best FoCuS Headhunter players in the world, probably the best FoCuS Headhunter player in the entire world. So that makes it quite tricky, to say the least.
Obviously a very big difference as well, right, between FoCuS and KraV. KraV super excited to be here. I believe the first time he's ever traveled to an offline big Warcraft 3 event. FoCuS, he's been doing this for the last 16 years of his life, so that obviously works out in favor of the Korean, but he's got to be feeling the pressure a little bit. He comes in as one of the favorites, yet he finds himself here in the lower bracket match.
Yeah, we're kind of surprised that it was such a well-played game by Remind. FoCuS losing the first one, dropping down, but this is where he's really strong. Thinking back to Anaheim, he was able to beat Happy as well, 2-0. Now he's going up against a good Undead, but perhaps not quite on the same level. Carson mentioned it. With the fast Headhunters, he's super strong. He's been spamming that style, and KraV better come prepared.
We're gonna have the picks and bans come in. If obviously anything stands out for you, mate, let me know. What do you think is the key to victory here for our underdog as the Undead player to somehow upset our Korean Orc?
Yeah, I think it might come down to hero choices. Can there be a metagame? I think KraV is very much known for his tricky playstyle, his split pushes, his maybe expansions at times. How can he trick his opponent? So I think that's going to be the key to victory. Can he somehow get the upper hand hero-wise? I think FoCuS will probably go FoCuS Headhunters throughout the series, so Criplord may be off the table, but we could still see something, maybe a Dreadlord. Maybe just a really solid DK, could be even DK Expo. Lich expand has been something we've seen on occasion, so there's plenty of tricks, but I think KraV is going to need to almost rely on the tricks.
We ended up playing on CH, Echo Isle, and if necessary, Northern Isle. I don't think that's too surprising. I had a little chat with KraV outside before, and those were the 3 maps that he also expected to play.
Yeah, these are the ones we see quite a bit in this matchup. Honestly, from the Orcs, normally Echo Isle is oftentimes going to be vetoed, so I wonder if FoCuS is trying to set up a trap there, maybe. What kind of style can you expect? Happy, you always know what you're going to get. KraV is the exact opposite. Could be anything.
All right, guys, it is time for our predictions to get in, and obviously if you have any final thoughts, let us know. I guess I'll kick things off here. It's a tough one. I do really like KraV, but I cannot imagine FoCuS going out in the lower bracket round 1, so I'm going to say FoCuS takes it, but 2-1.
You nailed it last time, so can you do it twice in a row? I mean, that was crazy. What was it, 85 you said?
Yeah, but I'm going to have to go with a winner here. I'm also going to have to go with FoCuS. I think FoCuS now, lower bracket, going to catch a second wind, 2-0.
Yeah,
Carson?
I think I got to agree with that. I think the chat's going to agree with that. I think that is, you know, who the big favorite is, the biggest favorite maybe we've had today so far in FoCuS in this matchup.
I mean, you say that he nailed it. Sure, he nailed TwitchHead, but guess what? Both Remo and TwitchHead had it super wrong in that previous game, because yeah, Foggy ended up winning, but how close was that? It was a 2-1, and that first game, that was Remind's game.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. That last building that he didn't remake, didn't have anything left. Even the production was confused, but Foggy was the winner in the end. And here we see FoCuS having the slight edge. The Frenchmen not representing as strongly as I thought they would.
Well, 60%, so TwitchHead's still leaning towards FoCuS, which makes sense. He's had a strong year, he's been around, and he's been here a million times before. We all expect him to make a deep run. You guys have any final thoughts real quick before I throw it to the casters, Remo?
3 different wild strats from KraV, I want to see him.
All right. Carson?
Yeah, I think so too. Wild, wacky play, that's what we need.
It's going to be a bumpy ride, apparently. Todd and Neo, have fun, guys. Take it away. It's all yours.
Thank you, Roddy. The fight for survival is on, Todd. FoCuS or KraV? KraV traveling for the very first time in his entire life. Will he travel into the lower bracket final as well?
Well, that would be a nice story, but he goes up against the FoCuS, who I think he would have much preferred beating a Night Elf down there in Remines. And yeah, that's going to be a tough one for him. His best chance, the desk covered that, is probably to play some off-meta stuff. He's known for his Crypt Lords, maybe bring that to the table somehow, find a way to make it work, but it's going to be very difficult because FoCuS is a beast.
Oh, of course, and there he is on the upper right-hand side, one of the strongest orcs in this tournament, representing 1UP Legal from Korea, is FoCuS.
Yeah, that's FoCuS. His opponent down there in the red playing Undead from France, representing the Playing Ducks. They fly together. It's KraV.
Here he flies alone, but let's see. Maybe we underestimate KraV a little bit. In the winner bracket semifinal, he made Foggy work for that victory. Especially game 2 was super close. Probably closer than anybody expected. And FoCuS against Remind, not as strong as everybody expected. The winner bracket final that everybody thought was Foggy FoCuS doesn't happen. First upset caused by Remind, second upset maybe by KraV, but yeah, he is the underdog, that is for sure. But FoCuS has to bring his A game. If he's slipping, if he's not scouting right, if he's not reacting right, then KraV can easily overwhelm him.
Yeah, Foggy against KraV game 2 on Tidehunters was a 32 minutes base race, so he definitely pushed Foggy to the limit, came down to the last few buildings. Obviously a Panda 5 will help you with those base races here for Foggy, who's an expert at that. But now KraV is opening straight Fiends. What hero is it going to be? Once upon a time, always going to be the DK, but he's such a fan of the Crypt Lord, so a big option on that here for him. And as predicted, just playing off beta from the get-go, really trying to throw FoCuS off his game from map number 1 there.
And we have a couple of seconds there. He is the Crypt Lord. That was, I guess, to be expected from KraV, and I think it's the absolute right game plan, because FoCuS, he played 1-2-0 so many times. Not usually your Crypt Lord player, really. Then he played Happy a couple of times, but Happy is also not playing Crypt Lord. So this is maybe a little unusual. This is something that FoCuS isn't too used to, and KraV, this is his favorite hero, I guess. So let's see how this pans out.
His might cannot be matched. Did you see that intro? But KraV had the best one so far. Shadow boxing, swinging the axe like a boss. Cast him in a TV show or movie already.
Well, he has to face some swinging axes here by FoCuS, who is going for this grunt opening into Headhunters, so a little bit of an earlier creep, but then later bringing the damage with the ranged army, which I think is fine, wants to accelerate a little faster. Do you think KraV feels any kind of pressure here? I mean, it's a success that he's here already, but on the other side, if he wins here, he doubles his prize money to 3K.
Yeah, that's crazy, actually. Like the prize money in itself, like just being there gets you quite a bit of prize money, but yeah, being able to double that's... Honestly, like you shouldn't be letting it get to you. There is a chance, but I feel like he should be prepared well enough mentally. You know, he's doing work. Obviously, one of his teammates is Starbuck, who's one of the best random player in Europe, if not the best. So he gets to prepare with him and like kind of game plan. So I think all he needs to focus on is what's his game plan here and try to stick to that, follow that. And it's going to be, I feel like FoCuS is the one that might get thrown off his game, you know, if he reacts poorly to what he's about to see here with the Crypt Lord. I saw the video, I guess, already, so he knows.
I was about to ask you about the preparation of KraV. Maybe you know a little insights there. Of course, he was up against Foggy first, so the practice against Night Elf should be hard. But then also, in the lower bracket semifinal, I guess he expected to face a Remind. So how much did he practice against Orc, really?
I'm not sure exactly, but obviously you have to factor in for all the opponents in your group. I mean, unless, you know, let's say like you have Happy and 2 Night Elves, like probably you should practice more for the 2 Night Elves and like keep on the Undead practice. But yeah, like in this case, he definitely thought about FoCuS and how to go about facing him. And now we enter the phase where FoCuS is prioritizing not letting the Crypt Lord level up. He does not want to let him get level 2 and then level 3. Because he's got level 2 himself with the Chain Lightning here to try and steal some of these creeps. He has auto attacks as well, and that was a steal here. Very nicely done.
But the second one can't be stolen. There's decent damage. There's also a Chain Lightning if he wants to go for that turtle. So I think with this timing, FoCuS has the upper hand. He has Wolves to do damage. He has Headhunters to do damage. And if he really wants to steal a creep, he got the Chain Lightning where he has to invest a little bit of mana, but he prevents the Crypt Lord from level 2, which is super important because then Impale comes around and that's a lot of crowd control.
Yeah, KraV is trying to zone out the army with just the Crypt Lord and Beetles, and creeping with just the Fiends. FoCuS was trying to go around for the chain lightning, but KraV will be done before that can actually happen. Nicely done from both players. I guess like KraV, yes, he achieved level 2, but he actually lost a ton of Beetles to do that, and you don't have infinite mana here in the early game.
Yeah, you can't regen them at all. No clarity for the undead.
That only happens when you reach the first statue, you know?
I know. Not yet. We are getting there. Tier 2 tech. No Crypt Lord expansion with that Fiend build, which I like a lot as well. A lot of early Fiends means you can deal with the Wolves a lot easier. And even level 2 Wolves aren't that big of a threat.
Yeah, Torrent Chieftain second for FoCuS. So, Stomp obviously very common here. My question is he gonna try to go for tier 3? Usually it's between going tier 3 and then adding a third hero, but if you go faster TC, like do you even really need to go tier 3? Or maybe he would expand on tier 2, or maybe he's just gonna play super aggressive and like just not let the Crypt Lord level and just kind of bully him out on the map. There it is, starts tier 3 now.
Oh wow, no expansion play, just tier 3. Maybe some Bloodlust on there, maybe some Tauren. Everything is possible in this meta, but losing a Fiend early, that's not supposed to happen. Of course, there's not only no mana regen, but without a DK, there's also no instant heal, and there was a very good pickup for FoCuS.
Yeah, usually as Undead, you'd always have Death Coil, but now because he's playing this off-meta strategy with the Crypt Lord, yes, he has Beetles, yes, he has Impel, but not having Death Coil, losing a Fiend this early on, that's pretty bad, because that's a very important part of your damage that you need to be able to creep and even fight the opponent when he shows up. So we have the Black Citadel starting as well, Slaughterhouse on the way, and Ensnare is now being researched on the other side as the Torrent Chieftain will start leveling.
KraV still has some time. The TC on level 1 and 2 is really not that powerful, so he will have to creep, shop the natural, maybe a green one here and there to really reach his potential. KraV needs a second hero, needs a tier 3. The Death Knight is coming out, so there is now some healing. And level 3 has been reached for KraV. Ideally, he would have level 4, but first he has to take care of that Slaughterhouse. It's not allowed to lose that, and he doesn't.
FoCuS is so good at scouting and cancelling whatever buildings you're going for. I mentioned the instance against Happy back in Anaheim with his Blademaster where he kept killing the Slaughterhouse. Today against Elf, he was doing the same job against Remind on Last Refuge where he cancelled the Ancient of Winds multiple times, and now again he's threatening the Slaughterhouse. By doing that, he's keeping a part of the army here of KraV back at home, including the Death Knight, which is not going to be leveling for this whole time, but great item in the center for KraV with the Endurance.
Exactly, but the TC comes in with the first stomp of the game. Crypt Lord might be in trouble here, has a big healing potion, but if he's stunned for long enough, that could be the end for him already. I really like this red spot creep, takes the big item away, the biggest item on the map, and gets, of course, a good chunk of experience. Take also this away from the TC. I'm not even sure if that's enough for 3.
Yeah, KraV is so good at sneaking away with his Crypt Lord. That's one of the things he's best at. Even in Undead Mirror in the past, I think there was this one game against Happy. Remember, Northerite, he sneaked away, crept a bunch, and then ended up winning thanks to that. So he's shaking his head a little bit. I don't know if he's reacting to like losing a couple of Fiends or if he's having a hard time adjusting his earphones here, but needs to stay in it fully here.
Yeah, that's the first time he's not playing from home. We have to factor that in. Of course, FoCuS historically not the great offline performances compared to online. How does KraV dealing with this? That's a new factor in this tournament that we didn't really talk about for 2 years because it never happened. But being in a different chair with a different table, different setups, that is something that can throw you off if you're not having too much experience.
Yeah, you try and recreate those conditions that you have at home as closely as possible. Actually, the first thing I saw when I saw KraV today was that he was drinking out of one of those juices, out of a can this time.
Oh, Todd, the Slaughterhouse. Will he finally get it?
Oh,
there's no repair anymore!
The Acolytes died, so the Slaughterhouse actually goes down, but one statue already made it out. Obviously, you need 2.
I think this is the second one. Yeah, this is the second one.
Yeah.
But he got no Destroy upgrade. The DK is also getting stunned in the front line. Ooh, gets the health post pass. But this means no Destroyers. And Wolf can be so overwhelming if you're not having Dispel. One Headhunter down, the second one is coming, but he's trading Fiends for that potion. Use the Chain Light. Maybe a little too late.
That was so close, actually, here. Shadowhunter now shows up.
Uh-oh.
Usually you go Hex here.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's going to be so much stun lock here with Stomp, Hex, and potentially Ensnares if he remakes Raiders. FoCuS gets level 4. That's going to be chain lightning level 2. DK is getting targeted. Lich is there without an orb right now.
Oh, the potion was used earlier. The chain lightning hits him again, but KraV with a good retreat. Don't send him back in. Is he now overcommitting a little, maybe? The Lich is here, TC down to 50%, but Walker's also pretty early transition for the Spirit Link, which makes so much sense since there's still no Destroyers to dispel this, and this is the DK going down. Still no healing. KraV with his back against the wall. Can he push FoCuS back?
Yeah, KraV's shop was all the way at the back of his base. I guess maybe he didn't have the goal to buy orb immediately, but he needed that here in order to be able to fight. Maybe he should have played a little more defensive. He fought a little too hard. Underestimated this army of FoCuS, and FoCuS now, he sees that Lich out of position. There is no Death Knight, there is no coil, and the Lich is gonna go down.
Oh, will he though? Yeah, next and Snare seals the deal, and that's a double kill. GG, FoCuS is back with vengeance.
He's not out of it quite yet, falls down to the lower brackets. But he knows that with 2 more match wins here, he might be able to still make it to the quarterfinals. And a very convincing game 1 here. I don't think KraV was able to get too much going despite playing an unusual style. FoCuS knew exactly how to react.
Yeah, I'm curious if KraV is able to switch it up for map 2, or if you stick to this pattern. With the Crypt Lord, of course, you can also go Ghouls and Expansion. Relatively rare to see a Crypt Lord Fiend expansion. Oh, a Crypt Lord Fiend play in general. This was just full-out control by FoCuS. This FoCuS play is so obnoxious, but also so well executed.
What a fantastic jersey with that W2 Champions logo and Back to Warcraft on there.
Right, where's the Taunt logo?
Love it. I'm not big time enough like you guys.
Yeah, cool that he found a private sponsor prior to this event. 1UP Legal stepping up there, supporting FoCuS. For KraV, of course, the Playing Ducks, one of the greatest teams in all of Europe. So both are coming in here with a lot of support. But yeah, that was the neck breaker, I guess. Gets the statue out, but no destroyer is possible at all. And then it's just all FoCuS here, game 1. But Concealed Hill, oftentimes called the ORC home turf. Maybe the next map is going to go a little better for KraV.
Yeah, I mean, this off-meta stuff didn't work. He definitely can't do the same. Like, FoCuS looks really solid against that. So why does KraV actually try now? Like, it's just the opener of FoCuS is solid against everything, especially against an off-meta player who's known for liking to go for stuff like Crypt Lord and expansions and all that. I think FoCuS very much knows exactly who KraV is, so that's why he's playing it so safe.
Yeah, for sure. KraV, of course, one player who's oftentimes seen in the W3C finals. Also a player that he probably matched on ladder a lot. Because FoCuS is not only playing every single tournament, he's also playing 10 to 20 games every day on World Champions ladder, so no strangers to them.
He's not just playing on the W Champions ladder, he's terrorizing it. Like, he's like always in the top 3 with 2 of Happy's accounts usually, so he's been the one guy besides Happy that's been doing the best really on the ladder, I feel like, as of late. Always very, very high ranks, so that makes him very scary. It means that he's doing well in all of the matchups, and well, so far, you know, he struggled a little bit against Remind earlier, but now he's looking like he's on form again, and he might be able to get his rematch.
We are 1 map away from the winner bracket semi-final rematch. FoCuS could get revenge in a long way through the lower bracket into the top 8, where many people expected him here. KraV actually was a little bit talk of the town. He was the underdog of some of the Korean players. They were respecting him a lot, but mostly in the matchup versus Night Elf, not so much versus ORC. Has to step it up a notch.
Yeah, historically, I think KraV has always been excellent against human. Against Night Elf, it's been a trickier matchup. He was really good with Gargs, but then as players got better against that style, he kind of had a harder time because obviously, you know, he's a Crypt Lord fan. You can't really go Crypt Lord much against Elf. He tried to make it work for some time, then kind of gave it up. But I think against ORC for some time, also he was doing okay, but that was on the previous patch when Crypt Lord was stronger and you could set up the expo all the time. Before the FoCuS Headhunter era started to get into full strength, which really completely disabled those Crypt Lord expansions for the most part.
I was about to say the same. Like, the FoCuS is really the demise of Crypt Lord versus ORC. You can control him so much, the levels are delayed, the expansion is basically impossible. I'm curious if on a different map he's trying to go for that expansion now, because on Concealed, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's really, really, really hard. That goes for every race on this map, because the expansion is just so well protected by creeps. This is going to be the question for map 2, I think.
KraV needs to get a little bit of momentum going. You know, like if that guy can manage to, I don't know, fast expand or even set up any expansion at any points, he's in his comfort zone. He loves having more bases. He loves having big armies. He loves frost worms. You know, like ducks fly together. How about frost worms? They fly together.
Usually they fly solo because they're either too expensive or die too quickly. But true, I think for a lot of players, especially when they break out, they're oftentimes really, really good with one hero and a couple of units because they're so strong in their micro department. For KraV, I would say it's almost the opposite. He gets really strong if he has a lot of units, when he can build the quad crypt and go into this absurd amount of gargoyles. But hey, it is the best map of them all, the legendary Echo Isles. And on the upper left-hand side, we see for 1-up legal, it's FoCuS.
And in the top right, in the red from France, playing for Team Playing Ducks, it is KraV.
This music gives me goosebumps. Whoever picked that, real good job.
With a ghoul build here.
Okay.
So obviously we're all gonna think Crypt Lord first. I've been hearing of a little Lich also making some appearances occasionally, but obviously against human it's probably more common than against Orc. So I'm still thinking Crypt Lords.
Yeah, during KraV's rise to fame, he called himself the Lich King and played Lich first quite a bit, but Echo Isles is just an invite to a Crypt Lord expansion. And why would you not go for it when it's so strong, it's so easy, and it's totally your playstyle? KraV is not trying any ultra cheese strats like a Lich Ghoul Rush or something. He's sticking to his guns. And I really like that because that shows his confidence. He knows the early game on Concealed wasn't really his, but he also knows that was not my map. Echo Isles is my map. And on Echo Isles, I'm going to show you how it's done.
Wait, can we look at FoCuS's base? I feel like something's missing. Where's the War Mill?
Where's the Rex? Oh my god, he's going for that Firelord push, isn't he? He's expecting this expansion, and he's going to pressure with the FoCuS. He's down attack early, pick the Firelord, and go with double summons against this expansion, and then back up with units.
Oh, the Troll Priest would actually go to KraV. That's super well done here.
Can he protect
Assuming it doesn't die. Yeah, I don't think it should die, but you never know with these creeps. Oh my god. He can heal one time, then run. Okay, he's just gonna run, and he makes it out. That's so important because now he can abolish the first wolves. Or even, usually you wanna abolish one wolf per set so that you save more abolish for later on.
The Peon could still cause some trouble here. The FoCuS is rushing over immediately. We see the barracks, no War Mill still, but maybe he's not lacking resources, that's for sure. So maybe just a grunt opening.
This is a great camp to do first because you're getting 3 corpses to get beetles and skellies out of. So then when you go to the expo, you just have like a critical mass to start setting up the expo or creep the expo and then set it up with. But yeah, the S-Tower was maybe a bit delayed. The Troll Priest definitely should be attacking there.
Oh, FoCuS is doing such a good job. The Murlocs intercepting this undead army. Ensnare's thrown. Poison will probably be spread. And of course, there's no Impale, so the FoCuS can do whatever he wants. Well, the Shadow Priest, who originally was supposed to come to this FoCuS Wolves here, has to go for it. KraV is already in a little bit of trouble.
He engaged during day. You're supposed to wait for night here to get closer without taking damage, but he just didn't want to wait. He really wants to rush that expansion.
This has to work, Todd. Otherwise, KraV, this might be the end right here. Was getting the last hit. Very well done by KraV.
Where's his Acolyte?
Did it die already?
Maybe he hasn't sent one yet. I mean, I don't see him. Okay, he's producing one now.
Okay.
He's definitely not taking. The experience will go to KraV. He's 2.3 against a 0 experience FoCuS so far.
Okay, very well done when it comes to these last hits. Wolves didn't do too much yet. I think there's a little bit of delay. Shadow Priest did do a good job. Is being chased now, used all his mana already. And KraV, he has to set up this expansion very soon because Tier 2 for FoCuS is ready and he should be moving to that tavern soon and get the Firelord.
Wow, KraV actually starts the Haunted Gold Mine without a Zig first. Feeling very safe. I mean, he crept that very nicely. He's got a lot of units. He knows that he has Impale and he can surround stuff. And he's actually getting a perfect scout on the other side. He sees the early production on the second hero, which is a Shadow Hunter, and he sees the timing on that Bestiary. If you see fast tech like this, no Headhunter, no Grunts, you can anticipate double Bestiary. So it's going to be for him to get ready with enough towers, go into Fiends, and also don't delay your tech too much, because you're going to need web against Wind Riders, most likely.
And that has no anti-air on tier 1 except towers, so this is absolutely necessary. And I think Netherop towers won't do it, so the Graveyard necessary as well. Impale, surround, has to stick.
Wow. And there's no stuff? Yeah, that's going to force a TP. This is exactly the kind of stuff that KraV needs. I mean, obviously, FoCuS is going to have a lot of room to try and make something happen with what I'm guessing is going to be Wind Riders and Shadowhunter second. He could also go Raiders and try and hit and run a bunch, or mix in some of them. And the question is, how is FoCuS going to react now to losing this Town Portal this early? Because if he moves out and gets surrounded again, that would be a disaster. So does he want to expand? Does he still want to be aggressive? Maybe he tries to secure the center. KraV was actually going to buy the Mercenaries, but FoCuS still swans away.
Ooh, wow, this is so big. That would have been a chance for KraV to go for some anti-air with the Berserker, who does tremendous damage versus Wyvern, but now that's all to FoCuS. Pendant of Energy, really, really good. It's another Impale. If he hits and surrounds again, this Farseer is dead. But it seems like he's unwilling to commit, which is smarter, I think. Not the all-out aggression, not the ruthless aggression. Where's the Impale? Oh, there's an Impale coming. I can almost smell it. Nice deny by KraV.
I think the units are too low for him to shoot for the Impale. Like, they would just die even if he gets just around. So he needs like way more units first to be there. And that's Mercenary still. If KraV had this Berserker here, he might just have like Impale attacked something to just push FoCuS back. But now getting that still away, that was so huge for FoCuS. He really gained a lot of momentum here thanks to that. So the first 2 Wind Riders are out, and look, he's already got the next 2 in production. He's going to be up to 4 Wind Riders so quickly. KraV's tech hasn't started yet.
Yeah, he's investing heavily into towers to get defense first, tech second. Not too sure if that's the right call. The pressure will be immense. The second round of Mercenaries almost has to go to KraV because he can't deal with the Wyvern. Whatever he does, he can't attack them.
He should tech now for sure.
He has resources. He has all the reasons. Ah, there we go. There's the tech.
He just started it, but okay, yeah, he has towers.
There's no second Necropolis, so every Acolyte falls, he can't rebuild at the moment.
Yeah, he needs to remake one. I think he still has 10 mining at least. But yeah, this Wind Rider pressure. Like, there's 4 Wind Rider here as Tier 2 only now started. He's trying to sneak away, but he doesn't have Town Portal, remember, by the way.
Yeah, nobody has a Town Portal anymore. Hex, Focus Fire, and the critical mass of Wyvern almost reached here. Cryptlord down to 50%. Can he finally get rid of that Berserker? Invests in Impale to get that kill, but it's so far from level 4 where Impale gets really dangerous.
Oh, the Fiend came out on the wrong side. Oh, that's a disaster.
Once again, no Coil trying to save himself into the safety of the towers, but it might just be too late. No! The regen on Blight. What a blessing for KraV here. He's chasing with the Wolf, but...
Oh, the Creep Lord, the Creep Lord!
So
what are you doing?
The Ghoul was locking the door, but the shop is gone now. KraV is trying his very, very, very best, and he has a good idea of what to do, but FoCuS, he just wants to end this quickly and wants to get his revenge for his Remind, I feel.
Oh, the Fiend comes out on the wrong side again. That's gonna get caught and sniped. The Crypt is too far away from the tower, so he can just get attacked and sieged all the time. Even if you repair, Acolytes would get targeted.
That's an unfortunate mistake, and Tier 3 FoCuS feels really comfortable. Let the expansion be an expansion. If I'm gonna get rid of your main base, you're not producing anything. And without a Crypt, you can be on Tier 2 all you want, but there's not gonna be web, there's not gonna be gargoyles. There's nothing that can stop me from the lower bracket final.
Yeah, KraV's just remaking everything at the expo. Necropolis, Altar, Crypt. Second Crypt at the expo. He's evacuating the main.
After mid-game. But if it's 2 bases and FoCuS somewhen gives KraV some time, there is a comeback potential. FoCuS should be too experienced to let that happen. There is already a transition into Raiders, into more control, which is then double disable basically with Hex and Snare. And yeah, no chance to get the script up.
Look at this, FoCuS attacking the Zig, knowing that he could also click down the Acolytes if they start repairing. But Tier 2 now finished. And no Crypt was up until a second ago. And KraV has 1 single Fiend.
Yep.
So even if he gets web here, he will only be able to web one of the units. Tries to go for the Farseer. He actually really threatened that here for a second. If he had had an Impale, might have been able to actually kill it.
I don't know, man. I look at these Wyvern and I look at the Ghouls and then I look again and the Ghouls are gone. So holding us around, I'm not too sure if that's possible.
You're looking at the supply, aren't you?
That's what a legendary player in Caster told me to do.
He was right. Currently 48 for FoCuS, 28 for KraV, who's got so much gold but no lumber.
Yeah. And the ghouls
FoCuS.
probably all fallen. Garg's coming, DK coming, Acolytes being rebuilt, and he got a couple of Raiders here and there. That's decent experience, but still not close enough to that Impale 2. But FoCuS is retreating as Tier 3 finishes, and we go into overtime, I guess.
FoCuS has done so much damage. Honestly, he could just pull back and drop a tiny at his expo and still be like so far ahead, but he's still choosing to siege more. And yeah, he's gonna go back to 50 supply with the 2 next win riders he's getting. He could easily go Envenom Spares, which against the Tier 2 undead, it's kind of the dream.
It is. It's so much damage, and it stacks, so...
Garg's
out now. He's gonna get a quick pickup, maybe even 2. One of KraV's favorite units, and he gets 1 or 2... 1 Garg for 2 Wyvern? 2 Gargs for 2 Wyvern. Still a decent trade.
Yeah, definitely. You want to lower that count here. I wonder if he's going to stay. Yeah, he's just staying on Gargs. He's making more of them.
So, the easiest transition in the world is now Bat Riders. And KraV can build a lot of gargoyles, but then there's Bat Riders, and they definitely justify their means.
I don't think I've ever seen Gargs defeating Bat Riders, except I think it was like 2005 at a tournament in Las Vegas where Nightmare, the Swedish player, beat Ghost Rider. And I made fun of him endlessly for that. I was like, how is it possible to lose with Bat Riders against Gargs? Like, it's just impossible.
Well, if you have 6 stone form timing, maybe.
Yeah,
And good Nova.
I think it was more about who can rush first the drakes on both sides of the map and creep them, because there was like, you know, those big dragons. But yeah, that was pretty ridiculous.
Okay, FoCuS going for plan B. KraV not crumbling here. He wants to enjoy his time in the limelight a little longer, and he's fighting back. That's always been one of KraV's biggest strengths, not giving up, fighting until the very, very last unit. And, you know, sometimes it does work. I really love KraV's fighting spirit.
Yeah. I mean, it's his tournament life on the line here. If he loses that map, that's it for him here. He came to Sweden and then lost every map that he played in. Of course, it's against great players, but you don't want that. He knows he's capable of doing better. He's actually insane in games where you get to 80, and that's not only when you're ahead. I also think like here, if he's able to bank for a little bit and he tries to just build the perfect army, look at how much gold he has. As long as he's able to make it to 80 supply, I think he's still in it, to be honest.
Exactly, and he's not going like fully into Gargs. That was just to defeat the first wave. Now he's switching into Fiends, and that's the right choice. It's actually quite impressive how good KraV got with stuff like Cryptlord when he was just a Reign of Chaos player 1.5 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think he's evolved a lot as well, even though he still relies on like that main Cryptlord style. Okay, why is this slaughterhouse here, KraV? Okay, everything that you make here dies. Like, you need to place that elsewhere. Still has no temple. Oh my god, he's kind of getting caught in the center here.
Uh-oh, that is not what he wants. He wants to spend this 1,000 gold once he got a little bit more lumber. Goes into more Gargs. If he can take out the Bat Riders quickly, there might be a shot. Scroll of the Beast activated as well. But on what? Not much. Just the heroes, basically.
Yeah, that was the worst time possible for KraV to start fighting here, because he hasn't broken upkeep yet, and he has such a big bank.
Yeah.
He had no business being in center of the map. He's gonna get chased down. Is there a Hex? Oh my god, I thought that DK was gonna go down for sure. He might be able to make it out here thanks to Unholy Aura.
Oh man. Is there Chain Lightning? Also not really, right? Coil on
my god.
Oh my god, all of a sudden, Shu is on the other foot, and now it turns around once again. The Cryptlord, he used the Coil, the cooldown is off, but is it enough? Beetles chasing the FoCuS. And I guess this goes on for a little longer.
I mean,
KraV needs to scout that there's an expansion, I guess.
To be honest, this army is not supposed to scale really well later on in the game here from FoCuS.
Yeah.
Where like he's getting mass win riders like this and then into Bat Riders. KraV should make a clear Fiend transition, take it slow, just grab a Lich with Orb. I don't think he's even going for tier 3 here just yet.
Oh, KraV needs more lumber, man. He is almost at 2,000 gold. Of course, he will spend a little bit, but he's not approaching tier 3. He never has the lumber for that.
Yeah,
So
yes. Where is his ghouls? He has 3 ghouls in the main base. That's not enough. Get like 2 more and go tier 3 and then bank a bunch. I mean, he's already doing that regardless. He has almost 2k gold. Okay, there it is.
Exactly. That's the 2 ghouls. I wonder, does he think he's under so much pressure that he can't afford the production time of ghouls to really fix his economy imbalance.
Maybe. He has double mana pendant, by the way, that's insane. And already 2 claws for like when the Lich comes out, but I don't know if he's gonna make it this far here, because he's struggling to stay in this game right now.
This Expo is pretty well defended with the 3 towers, because he expected an attack here and didn't really fortify his main too much, but yeah, good luck cracking this Expo. I think FoCuS does a good job in switching north once again, going for the main once again. There, he can still do a ton of damage.
I mean, this army is insane here.
Yep.
Like that many Wind Riders.
Good luck, mate. He could even go for Liquid Fire, and then you can't repair the buildings anymore. But how are you supposed to fight this? There's not enough Fiends, there's not enough Gargs. Stalling time is the main mission for KraV.
Yeah, I don't think he should have ever gone for Gargs. That's the problem. If he had just made Fiends, now he would have like a, you know, maybe 5-6 Fiend counts. I don't think you need to bank forever either. I think like once you have 2k, you definitely should break. Maybe even before that. And now that main base is under siege, it's gonna go down with all that damage, most likely. I mean, he has to take a fight he really doesn't want to take to save it.
Next Bat Rider, and the soul, the Garg's gone. So hard to repair. He's actually going for Temple of the Damned, a little bit of a signature move, trying his very, very best to take the Bat Riders out, but there's simply not enough Fiends and simply not enough webs. He's getting 1, he's getting 2 every now and then, but it's still so oppressive by FoCuS. Can he get a hero kill without a card? I don't think so. Level 4 on the Shadowhunter. The experience difference must be insane.
Yeah, that slaughterhouse, I called it earlier. Probably should not have been there, but he didn't have any space elsewhere.
Oh, look at this.
To make it at the time. That's so much damage with them on spares as well.
Another Fiend going down. Every single one is supposed to be a savior for another web. And the statue will not see the light of day this time. He needs more mana, but KraV needs basically everything. Tech is almost finishing, but will he see the day? I'm not too sure. Speed Scroll. Is that the end of KraV at the DreamHack Finals? It could very, very well be if the DK falls here. Level 3 takes forever to get him back, and also a ton of resources. Wyvern following, Wyvern shooting, Wyvern succeeding.
Yeah, a lot of units are webbed. He's gonna get level 5 Crypt Lord in a second. Finally, he's reaching a count of Fiends where he's killing a lot of the air units. That Crypt Lord is like, get out of here, DK. I want all the experience for myself.
Supply gap is actually closing. Just needs some more healing. Is this the amount of Fiends necessary? One FoCuS backing off. And actually, KraV, okay, was almost having the supply lead here. Dude, what a fighter.
Yeah. The flying XP tomes, Neo, that's what they're called for a reason. And he keeps on making them. There's not even going to be a transition out of FoCuS. Even though there is somewhat low tech from KraV, as in he only now reached tier 3, and I mean barely. Like hanging there by the skin of his teeth. FoCuS.
Okay.
Does he have a third hero? Like he's just staying on Masked Wind Riders for some reason.
TC would be amazing. KraV needs the Lich, I guess. Imagine a Nova into all these Wyvern. Crypt Lord is level 5, so I guess FoCuS's reasoning for not switching is everything I do on the ground, it will be impaled, it will be focused, it will die. So he's sticking to that. But Nova is also a very good solution against Mass Air. And you know what? Banshees are coming. Anti-magic protects you from Envenomed Spears, so it's actually pretty smart.
I'm so surprised that FoCuS didn't get any upgrades for his Wind Riders, because he's at a War Mill.
Yeah.
Especially like the +1 is so cheap. Like really, there's no excuse for not getting the +1. That's insane. That he hasn't even made that. He has enough economy for a lot of things, actually. Could even go fortified and then try and base race a little more with some raiders. Obviously, for one of the worst map for it, though, Echo Isle. Not going to be hit and running that much.
Double heal scroll for KraV. Of course, a big advantage for Undead. They can just use them or buy them from their own shop. I wonder, is there enough reasoning for a scroll of healing? Because it's a lot of single target, not much AoE. Another attack, rinse and repeat. FoCuS banging his head against the wall. Not bruised yet, no concussion yet, but could very well end up with one. Close to level 5 Farseer, which will do a lot with level 3 Wolves, which are invisible.
Can he web something?
He needs to. Oh,
there is no town portal. Oh my god.
Can he get the impale? He absolutely does. There's an invo potion now, 7 seconds safety, but can't use it in time. The healer, the hexer, he's gone.
Can he web something? There is 7 Fiends. He catches one single Wind Rider. Okay, that's something. Could have been much worse for FoCuS. If those Fiends had cut off the retreat of the Wind Riders, he would have caught so much there. Farseer and Shadowhunter were 4.9 here at the beginning of this attack. I mean, that's terrible to lose the Shadow Hunter now. KraV with a perfect impel just when he needed. I'm so surprised that actually FoCuS didn't go for level 5 on both of his heroes in the bottom left here before attacking, because there was not even really any destroyer yet, so Wolves could have been good. And now finally he's thinking about adding some other stuff. War Drums starting, so he's gonna add at least one Kodo.
Yeah.
And still range weapons, yeah, right.
Coming, finally. Okay, level 3 Wolves, they're invisible now, giving FoCuS perfect information and a lot of damage against Fiends. I still think a TC might be a good idea, but also he's very squishy on level 1. Creep speed for the Turtles is better for FoCuS, I guess, with all the Wyverns. But I'm really happy we showed this match on the main stage, because it shows that KraV has a reason to be here, number 7, I guess, in the European ranking, close to qualifying. And then here as a replacement, everybody counted him out, but he put in the hours, and it goes to show as he goes toe-to-toe with one of the best orcs in Asia. But yeah, this is so obnoxious having to deal with the Wolves now.
Oh, this may be level 5 Shadow here if he can kill one of the Acolytes.
Oh, that's big.
KraV at the bottom, he got Lich level 2, plus 15 damage here. Thanks to the 2 claws, got a Crystal Ball, could probably sell that. He split his Penance of Energy, one on the Creep Lord, which gives him 400 mana pool in total.
TP coming.
Oh my god, if he can catch the Wind Riders, did he TP in the top left?
He has to. No,
Okay, no.
defensively.
It was kind of scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like you do that and then a wild Torrent Chieftain appears.
Out of nowhere? Okay, you have to tell me how that works. Okay. This is still not over. But the main base, this should expire soon, but I guess only for FoCuS, because KraV was harassed so much. The Goldman in the main base, there should be plenty of gold.
Yeah, oh my god, there's such a big difference. KraV has 3,400 gold in the main.
Oh my
FoCuS has 1,000 or less than 1,000. But the expo was taken much earlier by KraV though. So in total, KraV right now has slightly less than 7,000. Whereas on the other side, we have...
Slightly more than 7,000.
Yeah, slightly more. It's about even. That's so crazy.
Man, every series here so far just keeps on giving. Everybody is trying everything. Everybody's coming in so well prepared. And you just see it every single minute of these games. And I love it.
As long as you don't start crediting Echo Isle for these amazing games, we're going to be okay.
I mean, everybody knows. I don't have to repeat.
Please. +2 finally on the Wind Riders. I mean, when you have this many, you definitely want to go for at least +3 attack, maybe even start throwing in some armor upgrade as well. And KraV's goal here is really to just reach 80 supply. Then it becomes so much easier to fight against all of this, because he's going to impel whatever's on the ground with the heroes, really get them out of there, like just disable them so that they can't do much. And the Wind Riders themselves, they're just going to die really fast against this many Fiends.
Exactly. They're made of paper. I love that he responds with armor upgrades himself, so that kind of negates one of the upgrades that FoCuS has on the Wyvern. We have a big fight here. We might have destroyers. There might be one shot as well. Is it hero focus time? Not yet. Big impale. KraV is trying to pull back 2 Fiends. Very, very hurt. Perfect timing for a coil or for a heal scroll. Fastia in trouble. Is it hero focus time now? Not really kiting back too much, so the Wyvern can attack a lot.
Yeah, actually, maybe Curse could come in handy as well here. Nice coil on that one Fiend that was pulling back on the right-hand side. You should target the Wind Riders, to be honest. Not much point going for the heroes. Obviously, Healing Wave level 3 is going to be tremendous here for FoCuS. But look at those heroes. They fly up in the air. The Wind Riders are dying left and right. And those levels of Undead, they're going to skyrocket. Creep Lord is 5.6. Death Knight is almost level 4. And Lich almost got an entire level and gets it here. Level 3 KraV with another fantastic hold. And he's now even in supply.
These upgrades are so insane now. Level 2 Unholy Aura. Good luck chasing this army now. On the other side, level 2 Nova. And what a smart decision by KraV to go for Frost Armor to diminish the damage even more. I thought, okay, yeah, the armor upgrades are nice for your units, but man, with Frost Armor and Anti-Magic Shell plus Curse on the units, this is borderline unkillable. And FoCuS, forgetting about that Kodo Beast, that's gone as well. And for the first time in this game, after 23 minutes, KraV the underdog has the supply lead.
And I tell you what, we've had some modest reactions to some of these series concluding, and the winners not exactly looking too thrilled. Obviously they were happy, but I think KraV here, we might see a giant pop out of him. If he can secure this game here, he's finally confident enough to move on the other side of the map. I think that's the first time it's happened in this whole game. He's got multiple healing scrolls. He's kiting all the way back against those red Wind Riders.
Oh, here we go. Can he? I don't think he has enough mana, really, especially not on the Lich. FoCuS is committing hard to the backline. The Banshees are safe. Here we go, KraV. Can he do it? Speed scroll out to keep the heroes safe. The Wyvern, they are disappearing one after the next. And they're flying right into the arms of the Fiends. They're so dangerous. KraV, I think he got this now.
Maybe a cheeky Locust Swarm here in honor of Primo. He loves that ultimate. He's got the mana for it. KraV, he sees no fortified as well. He's like, all right, well,
Yeah, that's
let me
an
just
invite.
get in there.
That's just an invite. Not going for fortified defenses against undead. Let's just wreck it, and then he can't go for any more units. But FoCuS, how can he get out of that situation? Wolves, Chain Lightning, all go double impact, and we do see the ultimate of the Crypt Lord. Let's see how much he actually does. But oh my god, what a celebratory ultimate this is. Wyvern disappearing left, right, and center. GG! KraV gets his first map in the tournament, and FoCuS facing elimination in the first round.
He tried to go for Masked Wind Riders against the Playing Ducks. A foolish attempt. These guys know how to fly, they know how to deal with it. And now KraV, one map away from a gigantic upset where he would make it to the decider if he were to win the next map.
Oh man, what a play by KraV. The resiliency from this man. We take a look at some of the highlights of this game because there were plenty.
Yeah, that's how it all started here with the expansion attempt, which was actually quite slowed down. But yeah, KraV picked up momentum very early because he got level 2 pretty easily and then forced the Townfaller, which is really the dream here. You need to achieve that, but after that, I want to call it poor SimCity. You know, that Crypt could have been a little bit further to the right and now the towers would have been shooting. That poor SimCity really cost KraV. I really thought he was out of it at some point here, just because of how much damage he was taking. He had to remake every building at the expansion. And FoCuS, these attacks, they were doing a lot. Look, 77 supply to 53. The soup actually lied this series.
It did for the longest time, but in the end, when the undead soup, they didn't lie, just the orc soup. And this hero kill on the Shadow Hunter, that was the turning point, I think. That was the first time where KraV really got momentum. And then in the end fight, of course, if you face an ultimate, if you face Impale level 3, if you face powerful coils, the undead heroes really carrying on top of these fiends. Congratulations, KraV. That is probably...
You just won a map, though.
Yeah. I mean, still, this is probably one of the best
Break
moments
out the champagne.
Yeah, I guess so, right? This is probably one of the proudest moments of his career, even though it's just one map. But it's one map on the highest stage of Warcraft, like ever.
Absolutely. We're going to head to a break, and then we'll see the conclusion of this epic series. See you guys right after this.
KraV the Machine not only looking great in these teaser videos, but also on the second map, tying up the series for survival. The loser of the next map is out.
That's some proper shadow boxing here, that intro from KraV, I'll tell you that. I'm impressed with his technique and the movements. And in the game, that was the case as well. Except for that SimCity that put him in trouble, honestly, he stayed very patient. It would have been so easy for him to say, crack under the pressure. To be like, all right, I've had enough. I'm just going to chase you out too far and then lose everything. No. He just stayed in his base for the most part, stayed really patient. You know that later on this army of Wind Riders is just not as good as, you know, most regular armies. And FoCuS, I really wonder exactly where his mistakes laid. You know, like maybe he should have grabbed another town portal, and then when he went for a deep dive in the base, he should have TP'd out before he lost too much. Maybe something like that. It's really hard to tell, because it felt like he was playing well overall. It's just that KraV was defensively like a rock. It just wouldn't go down.
Exactly, like a wall, an undead wall, a bone wall, one might say. So, okay, here we go. I love that KraV was going for that temple, by the way. That curse, that anti-magic made a whole lot of difference. And he was short on lumber pretty much the entire game. Still was able to squeeze that temple in. And then Banshees can be super duper powerful in the late game. And now, it's do or die. Reminders waiting in the lower bracket final for the winner of this very map. In the bottom left-hand side, it's FoCuS.
In the top right, in the red, playing undead from France, Playing for team, playing Ducks, it's KraV. With the straight Fiends opener, perhaps another Crypt Lord attempt. Didn't work out in game number 1, but doesn't mean the strategy was wrong. Sometimes it comes down a lot more to execution. And look, he's applying himself with the SimCity here. He left enough space under the Necropolis for a Ziggurat here at the front.
Very smart. Yeah, he likes to go double offensive Ziggurats sometimes.
Yeah.
Like one more than most of the others. But okay, goes for the defensive one, so it's not that easy to attack.
Do you know why he does that, by the way?
No.
Because we played Nation Wars 2-on-2 together a while back, and he kept making the regular zigs near the gold mine, and every time he would get space raced or like rushed, and I was like, make at least one zig at the front. How are you gonna do it? and then eventually he just got into the habit so much that he never stopped doing it. Even though sometimes it's technically wrong to make it too far at the front.
We have very, very different builds here, but of course the situation for KraV, he has nothing to lose, only to win. I think he can be pretty satisfied as a replacement going into a tough group with very strong players at the moment and with absolute legends, taking one map and showing good performances. That's really his takeaway. For FoCuS, some considered him a favorite to take it all. He was supposed to be the kingmaker by dethroning Happy, by eliminating Happy further down the road. Everybody was thinking about the playoffs already, and here he is, struggling in round 1. And we see the Crypt Lord Fiend opening again, but on FoCuS' side, Fastier Headhunter once again with the Grunt, so it's basically the same build like we've seen on Concealed.
Yeah, I wonder exactly what the plan is out of KraV. I'm guessing he just wants to level up a bunch and then just go into tier 3 and just play a regular one-base tri-hero undead with Fiend and statues, but with Crypt Lord first instead of DK. So he's more reliant on Impale, which is, you know, his specialty. Last game there were some really good ones actually.
Last map, by the way, was the first map ever that KraV won against him. They had 2 encounters before at the early stage of 2021, both a 2-0 for FoCuS. And now KraV writing history here. That would be quite a surprise if we have Remind versus KraV in the lower bracket final. Love that this tournament starts with upsets.
Yeah, I mean, we've only had 2-1s so far as well. Like, you know, some of the online stuff, that was 2-0 fast a little bit here and there. Not just on the first days, but even like in the playoffs, lots of 3-0s sometimes.
KraV Foggy was a 2-0, but I guess the second map almost counts as a 2-1 with 32 minutes.
Yeah, I count it as a 2-2. There was even a draw in there in my heart.
Oh man, I would love a draw. It's been a while since I've seen that.
You would love a draw.
We'll never forget.
Say nobody ever.
Why not? It's super exciting. And then you see the same again. More Warcraft is always more good.
Usually if there is a draw, it means it wasn't that exciting. And it ended in the stalemate.
What do you know about draws?
Everything. I've had quite a few. But I don't get blood castles. I like the Grunt a lot here because it just makes it so much easier to actually creep for that extra damage, like some tankiness as well. And it's very easy to transition straight into Headhunters immediately after. And much like in game number 1, FoCuS is not going to want to let this Crypt Lord level. Gets the steal. He's now 2.2. Very big steal here from him.
And, oh yeah, 2.2 is a big one. That's of course the big upside. On KraV, you have to have a better solution against this than on Concealed. Otherwise, it's the same game. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yes.
He stole his camps.
Yep.
He stole the Murloc, both of the Murloc camps here on the outside. Super well done by FoCuS. You can tell, even though he won game 1, FoCuS gave some serious thoughts on how to play exactly against that style if you were to face it again.
Yeah, I like the Grunt more and more, now that you mention it, when you play this aggressive. He can, of course, be the tank, and the Fastiers all stay healthy when you take the camps away, and then later on you can use one single heal self, and everything's back to green.
So FoCuS is, thanks to the Sentry Words, is seeing this movement towards the Expo. He's getting level 2 from this. I think, okay, he's gonna run to the Expo to try and get a steal with Chain Lighting. Needs to be careful against Impale and Surround, but right now the Crypt Lord's not level 2 yet. Okay, he's just finally got it.
Claws or Ring, I'm not too sure. I think Ring, was? Ring's
always a Ring, isn't it?
For you. But okay, there's not much mana. He can go for one Impale if he wants to, but FoCuS could also steal this exactly with the Wind of Mana stealing. So no Impale and not too many Beetles.
I'm surprised that KraV's not attacking at all with the Fiends. I think he just wants to make it to the Blight. That Fiend might actually go down. He's gonna try to block the Fastier away. A little bit more damage and the Chain Lighting might do it. He's gonna task the Wolves to finish this.
Get the Acolytes block.
Oh my god.
So
worked.
sick. He did that really well already with the Ghoul on Echo Isles, and now Lifesaver Echo. That would have been a little bit of a disaster if we lose that Fiend again early.
Yeah. Torrent Shift in second and Fortress for FoCuS. So he wants to play it out the exact same way as he did in game number 1 with the Shadow Hunter third. Remember, that was Hex that joined the fight eventually, and that was the mid-game push that really sealed it for him when he had a lot of units. I think the problem for KraV is that he was moving out too quick. Remember, he was trying to fight too early before the Lich was there. If you play more conservative, you stay inside of your base, you wait until the Lich is there, just just do a standoff. Look the opponent in the eye and say, okay, I will not move out up until I have Lich and Orb, and then I will come at you, and you better be ready to be the one to run away, because I'm gonna crush you.
And then there's level 5 TC and stops everything, and then do you do what?
I think that'd be a little bit early for that to be there, but yeah.
Yeah, FoCuS wants to go creeping as well. You see that as he picks Endurance Aura first. KraV, of course, on Concealed, he went for that big red spot, got intercepted there. Here, not as big of a camp, but he wanted to go for that lab. FoCuS Sharks around. DK is ready for the coil, though. So everything is a little bit better.
Can I go for the surround? If he can get close enough. Okay, he couldn't.
Everything seems a little better for KraV than in game 1. Like, no Slaughterhouse, cancel, or pressure. Tier 3, a lot quicker. No Fiend lost in the early game.
That's the biggest one. If you can like not lose any Fiends for the longest time, that's amazing. If you can make it to like 50 supply smoothly, you're doing really well, I think, in this kind of game. Because then you get the Lich with Orb and you can really fight to the full of your capability. And because you have a Crypt Lords, like how does the opponent counter Beetles level 2?
Yeah.
Like you can't really go Shamans. Do you go Spirit Walkers, but then they're not necessarily the greatest fighting unit? Or do you just ignore them and get like everything else? But then those Beetles, they're going to be very pesky in the fight. And look, KraV knows how easily he can creep this here with this type of army, and he goes for the red camp.
This is indeed easily creepable. Insub did this as a first camp, I think. Medallion of Courage, always amazing.
That is sick.
But FoCuS finds him. Mana on the fast here should be okay. Not that great. DK, oh, that Chain Lightning. He didn't expect that, I think. Coil wasn't on cooldown. Could have saved it, maybe.
That's a sick item here for the Crypt Lord. Because that's going to be extra hit points, extra mana, which is very important. So I would assume he's going to transfer that there eventually.
It's actually great for all 3 heroes KraV is going for. Always amazing. Oh, the Crypt Lord taking a lot of damage. Okay, but gets level 3 now. Should be... I don't know. Do you go Beetles or Impale here? Okay, Beetles.
I think Beetles, yeah. Like I mentioned, like it's very hard for the opponent to deal very well with the Beetles.
Ooh, statue.
FoCuS is so good at pressuring the main with his first hero. Whether it's a Blade Master or a Faster, he's always in there as soon as he's level 3. Just making your life miserable on the other side. The Wolf gonna give some experience.
Wow. Okay, KraV fixed this. The statue was being attacked for a long time, but once he paid attention, it was a relatively easy save. There is the TP on the Crypt Lord.
He's gonna get creepjacked. Okay, no, actually, FoCuS not moving down yet.
Yeah, KraV is stealing quite some stuff away from FoCuS. Level 3, level 3, level 1. Of course, the DK needs more levels. The Lich ideally needs levels. Once the Destroyers are out, I think that's the move, that's the moment for KraV where he can feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, FoCuS is going for Kodo and Spirit Walker, so he wants to have some way to deal with the Beetles. You know, like I mentioned before, it's very important. It's so hard to just ignore them, because then, you know, they're going to be very tanky, very annoying in the fight. You can't really go past them too well. Surprised he hasn't repaired the statue at all here. You'd probably want to do that here a lot of the time. But look, KraV made the adjustment I talked about before, where he's playing very conservative with a lot of his army, but the army that's out on the map is what FoCuS is trying to catch perfectly here. Can he get the Fiend Snipe before the Town Portal goes through? I think so. If, like, you didn't even have to use a Chain Lightning, which you didn't have the mana for anyway.
That Stomp was good. Also forced a bit of mana off of the TC. And is KraV ready for that contain, or will FoCuS play the map advantage now? He doesn't seem to be too motivated to jump into the Undead Arms, and I can definitely understand that. We have the Lich, we have the Orb, we have very good damage on the Lich as well.
Not much mana on those Undead heroes here. He definitely should put that statue on mana right now to try and start the fight with full mana. And I think in the fight, if you're KraV, you want to try and target the Spirit Walker as much as possible, because then once they're out of there, it's much easier for you to fight very well with Beetles, just making those Headhunters struggle a lot in the fight. Obviously, FoCuS is gonna want to get that destroyer out of there so that the wolves can be very effective. Spirit Link as well could be there.
Yeah, there's definitely key units here, and a lot of rock paper scissors applied. Destroyer is one of those key units. You need it against wolves. You need it against Third Link. Keep them safe, KraV.
Did you see that? FoCuS leveled only the TC. He even moved back the Shadow Hunter. Like usually when you have 3-3, you'd want to get your third hero level 3, but he's like, no, I don't care. My Shadow level 1 is enough. I just want to get closer to TC level 5. Maybe you were onto something earlier.
See? I'm the prophet.
Oh my god.
I like that, like how much of a tank this TC also is, with the ring +4, with the belt, with the ring of regeneration, Invo Potion on him as well, plus later heal wave. This TC is almost unkillable, especially since there's no level 2 coil, there's no level 2 impale, there's no level 2 Nova. KraV needs time.
And FoCuS, he read that perfectly, by the way. He knew that KraV was up there, thanks to the sentry words. He moved back. He knew he could do the camp here before KraV would have been done with that camp up there. Ooh. But KraV might get the item and then Town Portal. I think that might be the best option here, because he's going to lose everything otherwise. Statue being targeted, I think he's going to go down.
Very expensive again, 325 gold on the Town Portal. Only a Helm of Valor, not really what you wanted. But experience is, I guess, what counts, getting closer to level 3 DK. And he knows that there's an expansion coming up. And he knows that it's no tiny Great Hall, so he does have some time left. Maybe even with Beetle's attack only to force FoCuS back, or at least the Walker back.
Is he keeping the Helm? I was like, yeah, just sell this pile of hot garbage there, because...
He wants to have a tanky Crypt Lord. I can't blame him. There's going to be Hex. FoCuS Fire.
Maybe he doesn't need the gold because he's just gonna sit there and save anyway for a while, as we see.
The Hubble. Oh my god, he's going.
Necromancers.
Oh my god, if I'm going down in style. The way Undead was meant to be played, wagons and Necromancers.
Is that the way?
I guess that's what our beautiful mother company wanted Undead to be played.
The second Slaughterhouse seems a bit overkill.
He needed a lot of upgrades, I guess, and statues maybe as well. If FoCuS is not ready for this, and he doesn't have much Dispel, this can be incredibly painful, but
perfect revelation.
Yeah,
This is the most spotted Necromancer I've ever seen. And that's because he kept the Crystal Ball, by the way.
Yeah, maybe it's not that bad of an item after all.
Yeah, in a game where you're like super far ahead and you could only lose to like a tricky strategy, I'm sure he's great. That only happens one time in a million.
I think you can agree that this greater mana potion on the TC is quite okay.
Yeah, that I can.
Good.
Okay, KraV, I think he needs to save quite a bit here. I would say at least like 1,500 golds, and then he can break, try to get close to 80, and then he can pray that FoCuS is just terrible against Necromancers maybe, so he can get a win. But FoCuS, wait, he's not researching master training yet on Spirit Walkers. I think he might just attack.
He was also pretty late with the next Walker, so I think he's at 2.
Oh, I think he read this perfectly. Like, obviously, he used Revelation, and he was like, okay, well, it's probably going to take a while before you can get fully online with this composition. So he's now attacking into the temples to force a bat fight out of KraV. This is so brilliant by FoCuS. Instead of just sitting back with his expansion, he's like, no, I'm not going to let you that transition you're trying to shoot for.
Trying to disrupt this game. This might be the push for the lower bracket final, the push for survival. Did he get one Necromancer out? I think yes. A wagon is here too, but the mass Necros that you need are not gonna come out. A lot of resources dumped into that strategy. He got the upgrades, but not the actual units. And that feels so horrible. KraV isn't ready yet. The Destroyer is getting ensnared. It's just getting killed.
Yeah, KraV is so out-leveled. If FoCuS had taken one big camp less on the other side of the map, KraV would have Crypt Lord level 4. He would have DK level 3. Lich is gonna get sniped before he can even reach level 2, and the Lich was carrying the Medallion of Courage as well.
What happened to never fight into an undead base? FoCuS is defying Warcraft physics right here. Nice little impale as a last hurrah, but that's a double kill on very, very important heroes for KraV, and I think our Frenchman is about to be eliminated if FoCuS is not overcommitting monstrously. But how is that supposed to happen? the Black Citadel is trying his best, trying to get the Necros out, he's trying to raise them dead, but then there's Walkers there and can just dispel and can just end KraV's life for good.
Yeah, without Lich and the Orb here, it's just not enough damage. There's barely any Fiends left. The Destroyer going down as well. That's gonna be it. FoCuS makes it to the decider match and eliminates KraV.
Man, he was breaking quite a sweat here, I think. FoCuS in the end does it though, and after a shaky performance in the winner bracket semi, another not really flawless performance, but he keeps his chances up, and you know, maybe a good horse only has to jump as high as he has.
Yeah, he did the necessary things here to win that game. And now he gets the rematch against Remind, which I'm sure he's going to want to do better than last time. And he's going to have a real chance to. I definitely feel like there were some mistakes in there last time.
And let's hear from Roddy, Remo, and Carson to dissect these games and point out the before-mentioned mistakes.
Thank you very much, guys. That was one hell of a best of 3. At first, it looked like FoCuS really was taking no prisoners here. Game 1, he just took care of business. Game 2, it felt like it was all FoCuS at first. And then KraV had something to say about it, Rima.
Yeah, good performance still by KraV, I think. We mentioned it before, right? First tournament for him. In fact, the first time he took a plane ever to travel anywhere. Good showing by him. He got the map. I think the cast has pointed out the TC seemed to be missing there, but FoCuS brings it back. A chance in the rematch to prove again against Remind.
I mean, he didn't just get the map, Carson. He got the map while he was under an insane amount of pressure at one point, floating a lot of gold. We thought everything is falling apart, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that showed some real fighting spirit there from KraV in that game 2 in Echo Isles. That was absolutely a ridiculous comeback. I don't think any of us really thought he had a chance there, but Concealed Hill, a little rougher, of course, as we see it now. It was a difficult timing when the Tier 3 hits, when the Orc has that Tri-Hero online and they get a good fight and a good positioning. This is how it works out normally.
And what do you think could have gone different in Game 1, Rima?
I think he just never really got up to creep. I think that was the big problem in most of those games. If the Crypt Lord gets to level 3 quickly, you can kind of create space, but it seemed a bit too slow. And then what follows that is the mid-game problem with the DK. The DK normally wants to be level 4 fast to provide aura and coil, and that's the big problem when you play this strat. DK second, under-leveled, is going to be problematic. But here, FoCuS playing only dual hero. We were wondering about it earlier. Maybe he felt the Wyvern going to fall off too hard, so he had to keep on pressuring, play high tempo, no time for the TC. Maybe a bit of a wrong read, but KraV here had a chance in a great hold and great defensive posture to get that one map.
Yeah. This was the real turning point, I think. When he eventually got the Shadow Hunt, I was like, oh my goodness, it is actually happening. Unfortunately for KraV, he couldn't quite continue the same momentum in Game 3. It didn't really look all that bad at first, because I felt like he's getting away with creeping a couple of pretty big camps. But then it just felt that FoCuS really took control of the map, and there was not really anywhere to go for KraV.
Yeah, you know, there's a reason why this is not the normal strategy. The most reliable and execution-based thing that's supposed to work the best is the DK Fiend standard, but KraV is playing his own style. Sometimes he says the normal stuff is too boring. It's also, he's trying to play with that factor of the surprise and trying to make the game weird. That's especially where he thrives. The more chaotic, panicky, and unusual it gets, the better it is for him, but FoCuS was able to keep his cool.
Carson, any final thoughts about the lower bracket match?
I think KraV has something to be proud of here. Although he's eliminated, I think that was a really good showing from him. He, you know, against Foggy, he did decent in map 2, and then he ends up getting a map off of FoCuS here and really showing, like I said, some fighting spirit. So I think he's got something to be proud going home, but it's still a nice series to watch.
It is sad to say goodbye to KraV, but unfortunately we have to, as we have one more match left in Group A. But no worry, Warcraft nerds out there, we've got another group after that. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and after that we'll be back with FoCuS versus Remind, the decider.